We're recording live, and we're back in business. So, last time we had hooked up the game to our back end. So let's run that up real quick to see where we were left off. So we'll run the game and run the back end and just see what we had going on. I think really what we need to do today is just sort of clean up our backend code, write some tests, and get things nice and solid again. So let's take a look. Backend's running, code's building. I think also I'm going to write a little script that will, where we don't have to run, or we don't have to try and build into our project every time. We could just run it. That'll help us with some of our testing, especially the more and more we have more server-side work. We don't want to keep running the front end build when we don't need to. So here we go. We've got the back end and front end talking to each other. There we go. So that looks pretty good. So let's go through and see how our tests are in. Let's figure out why this is happening, and so we can handle that. We don't need our process dying every time. So a little bit of cleanup to do. Make sure our code looks nice and good. So this is still something different. So let's take a look at the let's see here. It's a socket acceptor. I wonder if these are two separate errors. It looks like it probably is. So let's take a look at our socket acceptor. It's this guy here. And we have the protocol implemented for map. So it's a socket stream, so socket acceptor line 41 here. So when we run stream receive, that's that. So what we need to do, we're going to run test game server socket acceptor test. Let's see if it actually comes up doing that. And it is those tests. So I'll put here vi test game server socket acceptor test. And we have our mock set up, we have our stream reader set up. So I think the issue is it's receive 1 and we have receive 4. So I believe we can just do this, and that might clear up the tests on that. Next test. No, close though. We did clear up one of them. So here, I want to make sure it's the same. Yes, it's the same test class. We have this, so we can do. It's probably, let's see here, not implemented for map. Line 41. So it's the same thing. Stream reader. Oh, we just did stream receive. So what we can do, I wonder if we can do stream reader. I think a stream reader, and if we do read receive, just do that. Like that. See if that'll do the trick. Stream reader not available, so we need to alias it in. Alias. Okay, so go to line 45 now. I should get the binary to list off the data. So we need to return a binary. See if that does the trick. Now, clause matching 1, line 47. So we actually need to set this back to what it was originally, a 4, but we have to do it as a binary 4. Okay. And still not perfect. We have an argument error, send. I feel like PID raise an exception. We're at socket acceptor line 52. This is this. And that'll execute. So I wonder, I feel like the mock isn't playing nicely here. Socket, listen, socket 2, game. So, do this. Line 42, so that's actually, okay. What we need to do, so what's happening is it's calling recursively. And what we need to do is, we're going to sort of copy what we did for a test earlier, which was test, game server, and it was the socket server test, I believe, where we actually set up the agent right here. So we're going to set up this situation again. In fact, I wonder if I can just go ahead and run one test here to line 36. Okay, so that one passes. And then we'll try line 24. So they both pass individually. So I wonder if it's because this process isn't being prior store. I wonder if we can do it this way. Let's do process exit PID. Let me do the same thing here. Process exit PID. I wonder if that makes any difference there. Well, the good news is that, oh, you know what? I need to give it a status. I'm going to change this to kill as well. There we go. So let's run this again. It looks better. There we go. So there we have this sort of set back up, right? Now we need to go to our front end, and we need to run our tests, our integration tests, and get those back connected, because I know we did some playing around with that. So here we're going to go next test include integration. So that's going to halt for that, and then we can see here it's stuck. So what is this? So let's kind of clear out some of our open pieces, and our tests, our our integration test is failing. And that's okay, because we made some changes to it. So let's take a look at our integration test. Game server, integration test. And let's set our number of tests to 1. And we're just going to do the Boolean test. And we're going to do run all the way down through read UTF bytes, which is here. And now, let's run that. And where's our integration test? This is this here. I'm going to go all the way down through Boolean. We're just going to attack these one at a time until we get it. Find out where our problem is. Restart those tests. And so if the Boolean doesn't pass, then we'll know that that's the problem. So now that passed. So let's assume all of our writes are working. How about that? Just to sort of do that all the way through. That's unsigned short. Okay, so that'll work. So we're gonna take this one, get float, double, read Boolean. So we're just gonna put that there, run our tests again, and see if any of those, see if that whole thing fails. So that all passed. So we know that's working swell. Let's go to read Boolean. So it's somewhere in the reads. Which it's saved. And we're going to run our integration. Yep, another Haxor on the screen. Alright, so it looks like we have a problem with the read Boolean. Something's not doing what we expect it to. So let's do some inspection here. I'm going to IO inspect reading Boolean. I'm going to do IO inspect 0, 1, 1. And we're going to say IO inspect getting response. Actually, what we need to do, we need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're at 7 tests. That might be our problem. But IO inspect next test. Alright. Set our integration test set, let's run our tests. Let's actually run our tests. Oops. Guess we gotta actually stop this first. Let's get our integration tests fixed and we can move on to building more game. Alright, so that worked. That passed. So, it must have been must have been because I didn't update the number of tests. So let's keep going here. So we're going to set this up to 8. Integration. And we're going to read our byte, so that worked. So I'll read unsigned short. And just save that. And then we have up to 9 tests. Let's track this down. We'll get our game back running again. Alright, so that one failed. So that's a good sign. And we'll make sure that it failed at the right one here. So unsigned short, which we didn't resume here. Unsigned short. And did we ever do read byte? Yeah. Okay, so possibility we still could be in a broken state. Not staying disciplined enough on this one. Okay, so that did get hung up. Alright, so unsigned short. Let's dial you back. We're back to 8 tests. And gotta stay disciplined on this one. Okay, so that one's not working either. So we're all the way back to read byte where we started here. So let's just double check. We're down to 7 again. Come on, come on. Okay, so that's good. So it looks somewhere in the realm of read byte is a problem. Okay, so let's turn this back on. Let's look at this. And read byte, byte to binary. That could be a problem. Let's look at our stream reader. Byte to bin. I bet you this is it, the problem here, byte to bin. So we're going to do num to bin. Num to bin. And we're only going to pass it 1 byte. Okay. And I think we're up to 8. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That was correct. Okay. And let's make sure we're doing read byte. Okay. Get our integration fixed. Right, so we got an error. Saying end of file at integration should write short to socket. Unsigned short to socket. Here. So let's take a look here. Unsigned. Alright, so we had this not commented out. So I wonder if this will do the trick. We'll set this up to 9. That's write unsigned short, not read. So that's definitely not it. Okay, let's undo that. Read unsigned short. Let's see here. We have here, this is read unsigned short. So let's figure out what's going on here. It's coming in at this point. I think, no? Should write unsigned short to socket. Let's run it again, see if we can get some more test data. Okay, so it passed that time. We'll just keep an eye on it. Let's try this. See if we just get more data happening. I'm going to take off my F11 key because I keep doing that. Okay, so that is also not having it. We have short to bin, and short to bin is doing 4 bytes, which is, in my mind, wrong. So I think this is what we need. Let's do what feels right. Okay. Feel like we're breaking a lot of things right now. So let's dial this back to read byte. I'm curious, can I the game server socket acceptor? Yeah, this is just doing receive 1. Okay. So this stopped run test 3. Unsigned short. Okay. I think that was a coincidence. Okay. We got an error, which was this again. Should write unsigned short. Unsigned short 438 and 0. It's really hard to know. It is consistently failing now. Let's take a look. Unsigned short, where are you? So this one's receiving 2. What's interesting is unsigned short. Assert receive. Is this happening still? So let's do this. Trace stream that's available. Make sure it's saved here. So that did do its thing. Trace checking read boolean. get this going here. All right. So that's kind of tough. Unsigned short. So trace unsigned short. Are we even getting here? No, we're not even getting there. Trace writing H trace writing 0. And we're not even getting there. Trace unsigned short. Okay. So it's writing 438. Custom in the file. Write you in 16. Does this output anything? It's behaving like the behaving like the function should be dynamic. Is it just because this returns a void? Probably. Yeah, these are all writing. So I wonder if that is it. So let's try this. Try u int 8. Is that even a thing? Right, int 8. Right, u int 8. Nope, there is no u int 8. What are we at here? Right. Int 16. Right, int 8. Okay, so that's unsigned short. And this passed. This passed in both cases. At least it's consistently failing. End of file at integration. Right, you win 16. Right byte. Strange. Okay, so kind of confused right now why this is not working. So we're just going to continue on, see if something gives us more data. So we're going to do unsigned short and see if we get some more insight. And I didn't do this one, so let's stop this. I need to at least include the test. This is just weird. So this is our read unsigned short, short to binary. Let's see here. Let's trace string bytes available. String meter, so here, line 115. So it gets stuck here. Line 115, so it's getting stuck on this thing. So let's comment this out. Let's not write to our Boolean. Let's see if we get some more clues. Blue's Clues. That's really what it feels like right now. Getting clues. Okay, so let's start this. And this is taking us to line 26. But it never continued on. So let's go and see what line 26 is. I need to list. So it continued on. So let's go here. Let's comment that out. See if this is what's causing the problem here, which almost seems like it is. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Still nothing. And it's getting stuck on next test here. What is going on? What are we missing? Definitely that is not going to do what we need. Let's go back. Let's go back to our working state here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 6, 7. I want to make sure, oops. I want to make sure this is still doing what we need. Unexpected public. It's a tough audience today. This program here. So we have all this. That is all working correctly. Okay. So now we're going to do this baby steps at a time. So we're going to change this to 8 tests. Just baby steps here. Okay, we're just going to write the one thing, number 15, to the socket. So here, read byte. Okay. We're going to need 1, 1. And we're just going to do this and this. Bare minimum. Num to bin. That's probably a problem. No? Okay, so that was a success. So let's do this one. Baby steps. And now we have an issue. Expected true, but was false. Should read unsigned byte from socket. Man. Read byte. Read unsigned byte. Read byte. Read unsigned byte. Okay, so that's the same. Oh, this is the problem. We're not receiving enough. So okay, so now we gotta set this at 3. Okay. That's just my lack of discipline on that one. Okay, so it stops there. And so that's stopped. It's this 0 apparently. Let's try it one more time. We're writing 0, string send 0. Okay, so there's some sort of issue with this 0, it looks like. Let's see here. I'm going to close this off. 3 bytes. let's see here, while bytes available is less than 3. So let's try this. And that's going to be better. Okay. That's weird. It's really upset about 0. Maybe. No. No. Darn. They're not equal to 3. That seems wrong, because if it's, I guess it has to be exactly 3. So less than 2, it'll actually technically less than 1 in this case. So when it's okay, so that worked. So when we send it to 0, if we do num to binary 0, let's see if that makes some difference. This is going to be 2, 3. So that worked now. So let's get this back. Alright, so that seems to be running better. I wonder if it was that weird, because I was sending this strange byte here. So let's do this, and we're going to do 0 short to binary. Hopefully this is the trick here. Hopefully this is what we needed. No, it didn't make it. Okay. Let's, oh, you know, probably not being disciplined again. No, still wasn't it. Darn it. So back to this. So here we're going to do bytes available is less than 1. So 2. Okay. Still being hung. Okay, so at least we're getting an error on this side. So I'm gonna get a chin test 105, which is this. Read byte, receive 1. Was 0. Do this. Three, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Running out of time, so this is probably my last test, and we're just kind of going to be stuck here till tomorrow, which is a bummer. Yeah, so that one passes just fine. Do 9, and we just essentially just run here. And then if we do this, bytes available, short to binary. Okay. Okay. We got a lot of breakage now, but that's kind of good. I just set receive. Read unsigned short from socket. So I'm going to just do num to binary 2, which should be the same thing. Five failed. Value 4 is not expected value 2. All right. Num to bin 0. What's the problem here? Num to bin 0, 2. So this is probably 5, 4, 2, 1. 5, 4, 2, 1. Yep. So it's actually a problem with this thing. Short to bin. Short to bin. It's giving us 4 bytes back. So why? That's not going to work. So let's do this. I really need to go. Darn. 5, 4, 2, 1. Erlang into list. What is it? Binary to list. Okay. Drop enum drop 2. And that's the problem there, is that it gave us 4 bytes to begin with. Okay, so that's our stopping point, but now we know what the problem is, and we'll get this cleaned up tomorrow, I promise, and we'll have our integration tests back in business. So, talk to you tomorrow. Happy coding. See you then.